Hi, I'm Scott Fresener with U.S. Screen Print and Inkjet Technology. I always tell people, say that fast. U.S. Screen Print.
That's very good. You make sure you plug your own company very well.
Hard. It's very hard. We're live from SGIA 08 in beautiful downtown, kind of foggy and drizzly out there. And I've been joking everybody that when I came over this morning in the rain, I was doing this, I was doing that to cover it up.
You'd have to do you have to do two hands.
You have to do two hands.
I don't mind. See, it just rolls right off.
Yeah, it just rolls off.
You know that windshield stuff that?
Yeah, the Rain-X.
I just Rain-X my head and it just comes right off.
All guys are the first guys to feel the rain.
It's a good thing.
With my good friend Charlie Taublieb, who is widely known for his wild shirts and his crazy glasses. And so, whenever I see Charlie, I'm curious what shirt you're going to be wearing.
Well, you know, and what glasses you're going to have. You have to be seen. Right?
I know. I love it. You know, you wore your ASPT pin. I brought mine. I never wear it. I don't know why.
It's the only
but
time
I got the T-shirt pin from Mark Vennet. Remember these? He used to give these out like water.
Yes, and yours is upside down, which is good. They were kind of shaking you out on that.
Turn it over. Here we go. Here we go. Right. Charlie is a living legend and industry veteran. And again, I'm thinking I probably met you also in Anaheim in '79.
You're wrong. We met in London at ISS.
Yes.
And that's where we hooked up.
That was a fun show.
I went to an interesting club that night.
That was well, upstairs it was straight, downstairs it was gay.
It was Sunday night.
Sunday night was gay night. Yeah. So we went there.
We didn't meet in the gay part.
No, I know. But my wife and you went down dancing.
We did, and when more eyes focused on me than her, we left.
Well, we knew we were in trouble. I'm not sure you were into the Paisley. Well, Paisley was probably in back then.
Well, I'm a flower child.
Yes,
I was a product of the '60s in college. So
well, the question is, do we look alike? Because years ago there was the industry joke. People would call Charlie Scott all day long. They call me Charlie. They'd say, I went to your thing in Denver. Right. I did your thing, and no, that's Charlie. So I had some buttons made that said, I'm not Scott and I'm not Charlie. And we would wear the buttons to shows. Even my son Michael one time across the bar said, hey, Dad, do that Billy Penn over here. Let's do that again. You're Charlie. I think as we're getting older, because you've gone now to the shave look,
yes.
and I pulled off the goatee to try and pick up a couple years, you know.
Well, I'm saving it. That's why I took off part of it, so I can kind of save some years, and now I'll take off the rest of it to be young again.
Definitely. Well, we both had hair. You know, I think we looked a lot alike. I did a consulting job once, and I know they thought you were coming, because I've never worn a ponytail. I've had my hair long, but never.
I know.
And you wore a pony for years. I get to this consulting job, and the first thing the guy says was, I thought you had a ponytail.
So I bumped into someone the other night. He said, so when did you cut it off? It's like,
oh, duh.
That was several. I said, here's the problem. I was starting to look too much like the redneck, so I had to change that look
our dirty
many
old man.
years ago.
Our dirty old man. Charlie has traveled the world in various capacities as a screen print consultant, raconteur, expert, wine connoisseur.
Not a wine connoisseur, just a
cigar,
just a lush.
Cigar connoisseur. And
well,
you said your name, Taublieb, was you just told me before this.
It's a German translation. Taub is a dove, and Lieb is love. Okay. And what's interesting is I was born in Germany right after the war, but my folks and my heritage is all Polish.
So Taublieb would not be a...
So somebody didn't pay somebody off the right way, and we got stuck with a name that was German instead of a Polish name or something. I don't know how it came about.
What was the family name like?
It's the only difference in spelling is I spell my last name I-E-B, and everybody spelled it I-B.
Oh, I-E-B.
So I Americanized it a bit when I got... I came to this country in 1952.
Right, okay.
And decided I really needed to Americanize a little.
Yeah. Now, you're an art... you have a degree.
My degrees are in fine art. I have a degree in painting with minors in drawing.
Now so I can see.
Minor in drawing and printmaking.
Right.
And the only thing I refused to do when I was in college is that stupid thing called silk screening.
I know, that was stupid.
It's like, are you kidding? It moves all over the place.
Never did.
So I was a stone lithographer, and
really,
yeah, nothing like moving a 500-pound stone reader in college. It was just great. And I'm a painter, and I belong to a gallery now. I actually have a show opening up December 4th in Denver at Core New Art Space.
What's it called so they can...
the name of the gallery is Core New, C-O-R-E, New Art Space, and it's a co-op gallery.
Is there a web? Like Core?
Yeah, it's www.corenewartspace.com.
And is your stuff on there?
My stuff is on there, and this show of paintings is nothing but three-dimensional circular paintings. Nothing square, nothing. So the name of my show is No Beginning, No End.
I love it. I love it. So you're going to retire someday and just do that and travel
I would
around.
love to someday just do that.
Support yourself on
you know, and so if anybody needs I do have paintings available. I'd be happy to sell them.
www.charlietaublieb.com.
Exactly. Actually, I do have them on my website.
You do?
I do. I have
Is
my
it
paintings at the back.
charlietaublieb.com?
Yes, it's taubliebconsulting.com.
Oh, taubliebconsulting.com.
I do have paintings on there.
All right. Now, when I met you, can we talk about your sordid past?
Let's talk it.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. My bootleg rock and roll days.
When I met Charlie, he was the king of printing on black shirts, and the rest of us are going, holy crap,
I thought John Weiss was king of black.
Well, I think, you know what? Thank you. I was talking earlier to Greaves, and we couldn't think of John Weiss's name. Anyway,
there you have it.
You were the king of blacks. And, this is before, John.
Way before.
And Charlie was a bootlegger. And this was the
absolutely.
You did some Rolling Stones or whatever.
First one was Wings of '76,
right?
For Madison Square Garden. I was a graphic designer for ABC Network, and I was doing the button that was going to be given away at the Wings concert tour. And the guy who became my partner came up to see me and said, "Hey, can you blow that up and I can put it on a shirt?" So my very first T-shirt was a 3-color Wings design on a black shirt.
How'd you print it?
I didn't. We contracted to a guy who used text dyes, so it looked good until you washed it.
And
then it had a stain.
Right.
I still have one somewhere in the house that's stained.
Wow.
And he came back a week later and said, that was okay, but I need something more dynamic. So my second shirt was a 4-color Wings design, but I designed it with a big set of wings.
No, that was 70. Would you say 70?
1970. That was July of 76. Actually, that was June of 76.
I mean, that was really early as far as...
Oh, it was
colorful images on dark shirts. And
when I went to my first SGAI show, or SPA show.
SPA show then,
in 1977, which was in Anaheim.
Yeah.
I put a 6-color print on a black shirt under my arm, figuring I got to learn something about this. So
well, they all wanted to ask you. They all came to ask you.
Huh?
They all asked you.
Well, I got to the show, and the two major topics: 4-color process, which I was doing.
Right.
I think I was the first print shop to do it in-house. We had the big camera and all that, and multicolor on dark.
Right.
I still talk about those today. So I get there, and they're talking multicolor like 2 and 3, and I'm saying, well, I have the 6-color print, and all of a sudden, boom, it's like, well, how do you do that?
This is the great days. I was talking with Greaves about you'd have 700 people in the seminar room. You know, you'd have a ballroom full of people going to the seminars. Oh, it was a fun time. I enjoyed it. So you bought automatic equipment. You had precision ovals.
I had precision ovals. We ran 24/7.
Yeah.
I was the technical
You were in Queens
guy.
then?
I was in Brooklyn.
Oh, Brooklyn.
Was in. I was in a part of Brooklyn where when you went to Harlem, you were feeling comfortable because Harlem was much
a lot
safer.
better.
I was in Bedford-Stuyvesant.
Was that like an armed guard for the night shift?
Well, I had to. On day one, I rented 15,000 square feet because at 28 you're going to conquer the world. So of course, we used 500 square feet,
right?
And we had print tables. We didn't have carousels. We didn't have automatics.
Long.
I didn't even know what an automatic looked like. But we had 200-foot-long tables, which were meant for cut parts. But we were doing finished goods on them. And a year into it, I bought my first manual press. I bought a Vastex from...
Well, back then it was a Vastex or a Richardson, or maybe,
But it had no registration.
Right.
And I'm printing, this is stupid. So 5 days later, I went to Precision with a bag of money. I saw Len Herman. I put the bag down, $21,000 in cash. I need a machine. So he gave me a receipt for $18,000. I swear.
Lenny,
and 2 weeks later, I had to hire a crane because my factory was on the 5th floor. So we had to take out a whole bank of windows. No problem. They hoisted in the machine. Then you find out that whoever puts the windows back is now responsible for them. So for 4 days, we had to have a guy staying in the factory because we had this huge open gap, and we're figuring somebody's going to try and scale down and actually get in. Until we found somebody to actually weld them back.
Right.
But
how many years were you there?
Actually, I left.
That was a Great American, right?
That was Great American Screen Designs, and there were 3 of us that were partners. Leon and myself were equal partners, and then Leon's ex-wife was remarried. So to make sure that she was being taken care of, we brought in her husband at the time, Dennis, as a third partner. Stupidest thing he ever did. Stupidest thing I ever did.
Yeah.
But I was there until about 1981.
Right.
And I was putting in like double 2.5 shifts.